You know what Sora is?
AI thing, AI video, right?
Yeah. They, it was like OpenAI is the company. They own ChatGPT, obviously, and they own Sora. And it was like it was kind of, the major titan of video generation. And I submit to you, I think that image generation and video generation is probably like outside of the ethical concerns and the layoffs and the environmental concerns and all the rest of it. I think that like image generation and video generation are the leading causes of AI hatred.
Absolutely.
I think like when you get into any kind of conversation with somebody who is like an AI skeptic or they really hate it, normally they'll eventually be like, well, yeah, I think as a research tool it's really great, or oh yeah, as an administrative tool I think it's cool, or yeah, vibe coding is pretty interesting, like that can, that solves all kinds of problems, or yeah, I use it at my job to solve like technical issues, in really novel ways. Or the other day I took a picture of my laundry machine and it was able to help me fix my laundry machine or whatever. Like I think people are kind of like they go along for the ride more, but I think like the video and the image generation is really like where the problem is.
Yeah.
So much so, it's like that probably is the thing to just avoid. Or if you do it, you're going to have to be real invisible about it,
So I just saw the Mario movie, the new one. And at the end it said, like, this film cannot be used to train AI.
Yeah, I always thought like the copyright was probably like the number one protection against, but it's hard because, they make it so fuzzy. But anyway, I think if you're going to use image generation or video generation, you just have to do it in such a subtle way that, like, obviously people are really averse to it, but it's also the big, in terms of the environment and in terms of CPU, it is the biggest hog. And I think like the other ones are not as objectionable. But when people express their concern about AI, they go, oh my God, it's going to cause all this deforestation and all the rest of it. One thing I always think is, I think a lot of people never really even knew what a data center was until they made the headlines. The AI, when AI made the headlines, a lot of people learned what these fucking things are. Like they have entire reservoirs going into them, and they, the amount of refrigerant, and the amount of cooling.
Stay cool, bird boy.
Yeah, they're huge hogs. And they've been hogs for a long time. And this new need does consume a whole lot of water and energy. And it's all valid, I think, to be concerned about it. It's just that data centers are not new. But one of the reasons I wasn't super worried about it was because I was like, I don't think adoption is going to be there. We've talked about this a little bit, like with the Ben Affleck thing. But I just feel like I remember when Sora 2 came out, so this was like, this is my memory. Sora was kind of the first big, like, oh my God, you can generate your own video for a few seconds. And wow, it looks pretty good. Not great, but it looks like, wow, you can generate video. This is after Mid-Journey. This is after, all those Dolly, right? Remember, that was like 4 years ago. Dolly.
Yeah.
And, everybody says Will Smith
each one was,
crazy.
Yeah, Will Smith eating spaghetti. That's what I was about to say.
In fact, I think I made a couple of like AI images of like John falling in a restaurant that looked like so rudimentary many years ago. But then Sora came out and people were like, wow, if it can do video, that's kind of new. We haven't seen that yet. Then I remember VO3 came out from Google, and that was like, this is like photorealistic imagery. This is pretty incredible. People are making like, like Bible stories where it's like the guy's vlogging, it's like Noah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing. And then Sora 2 came out, and that was like next level. This was maybe a year ago now, maybe. And that was, Michael Jackson gets arrested in a McDonald's type of stuff. Like, they were just going crazy with likeness and with copyright. But I remember OpenAI was really, of course, they're the leaders. They're where so much of the capital has gone to and the investment's gone to. And they're one of the ones, trying to get like the valuation as high as possible. And I'm really not impressed by Sam Altman in general. He's the CEO. I was watching him. He was like on the Theo Vaughn podcast one time, and he's going, Theo Vaughn's like, hey, what happens if this destroys the world and stuff?
I don't know. Neither does anybody else.
And Sam Altman's like, I don't have the answers to, by the way, all these fucking guys have God complexes because they really do have an enormous influence over all of our lives through private industry.
Right.
It's like, I really don't know what's going to happen, but I can imagine, and just go with me, just spitball with me. Maybe we get rid of money. Not his.
Not mine. I want it.
We get rid of money. And really what we need are, because the AI can do everything. The AI does everything for us. It'll be tokens. Everybody gets a free number of tokens per year for, tokens to use my company's product. And you'll live and die based on how many fucking tokens you have to generate AI. So I'm not super impressed by this guy. Whereas like Anthropic, I have to say I'm pretty impressed by it. Like and they have a much smaller user base. I think their user base right now is still in like the 33 to 40 million
like
range.
Claude. Is that Claude?
Yeah, they make Claude. And first of all, I think the model is just way better. I mean, like if you've ever tried to have GPT help you with a task or something and it gets it like really imprecise, if you're working with numbers or anything technical, Claude's like all over it. Cause I think it was trained to be more sequential. It was a bunch of defected OpenAI people that went to Claude and opened that company. And they publish reports about employment and they seem to care more. And I don't know. I just like them as a company a lot better. And I like their product a lot better. And they don't, more relevantly, they don't do video or image generation of any kind. It's all text and it's all code, I think that like vibe coding is really exciting. Like you could, in theory, EJ, like if you wanted to make your own Adobe Premiere plugin or something to solve some discrete problem that you have, like it'd be really easy for you to do that, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now you have to pay, but it's like really to develop an app with Claude, you need the $100 a month plan. Like but you don't have to have it for many, many months, just a couple months while you build your thing.
Yeah. No, so what's the news about Sora?
Well, they closed. They're dead. They're done. And I wanted to finish that thought. I never was super worried about it because I knew that in shitification, you heard this term in shitification, which is when something becomes more expensive with fewer features. So the service degrades and they're charging you more for it at the same time over time. And the reason that happens is because they always give it away for free to get you addicted. And then they start to, once you're addicted, they reduce features and increase price. And I knew that was going to happen to OpenAI. And the reason I knew that was because after that like weekend that Sora 2 came out and everybody was making the silly social media videos. Yeah, I do. You go on X and stuff, you'll see AI video. No, it never went away, but it wasn't like that weekend. Or it wasn't like that. Remember, like when they did Studio Ghibli?
Oh yeah.
That went away like in 3 days, right? Like,
right.
So in other words, it's a novelty. And OpenAI, for some reason, was targeting the general public. They were like, instead of trying to sell to major enterprise or something, it was like, let me see if I can get like EJ's mom to make a meme. And it's like, you're not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
No.
Like in fact, I would ask like, outside of like your jobs, I'll ask this of the audience too. Like, do your family and friends frequently use AI? Probably not. And it's this transformative technology and it will transform many of our jobs and many of our workplaces. But I don't think it transforms people's like everyday lives.
I think most people use it as like an enhanced search engine. That's about it.
Yeah. And I think between the fact that like the video generation is kind of garish and unsettling, because even when it looks really good, it's fucking unsettling, right? Like, there's uncanny valley, and if it runs for more than 5 seconds, it falls apart. Something really fucking strange happens during it. Like, it's just like, it's unnerving. I just kind of knew. I was like, that's not gonna, I mean, yeah, maybe like film studios and stuff will use it sparingly to solve problems, or I think it's really cool that Photoshop will be like, hey, do you want to replace the can in my hand with a flashlight or whatever, and it's very easy to do that.
I use it all the time on like thumbnails to be like extend the background. Like I just want more stars here, and it just does it, and it's easy.
So it's like a photo, an image editing tool, right? But in terms of like, oh my god, I use it for everything. I think that's mostly in companies and for hobbyists. So Sora was for some reason targeting the general public. Guess what? Like, and here's the other thing. It's very expensive to run those video generation models. And Disney had a deal with Sora for Disney Plus. I don't know if you would have had to pay extra for this stupidity, but nobody was going to. They made a $1 billion deal with Disney that was like, we'll license the Disney properties to you, and the subscribers will be able to make their very own on our platform Disney content with our Disney characters. I don't know. They would surely just make porn with it on day one. So I'm not sure like where that would have gone.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Although, AI, because it can review things in context and qualitatively, it can be very good at stopping you from doing things that you're not allowed to do. Like, it's very good at moderation, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how some people trick it to do all the stuff it's not supposed to. You can.
I don't either. I think they're using other models. I think they're using C-Dance, obviously. Any of the Chinese ones, you can get around it. But yeah, for Jimmy, I was helping him with this. I mentioned it last time. This little insert that he had in his movie. He had a over-the-shoulder shot of somebody looking at a phone. And then a text message pops up and you needed to be able to read what the text message said. In the original shot, you really couldn't. And he was like, how do I superimpose it? And ultimately I was like, well, I wonder if we could take the image that you want, take the, a still frame of the shot, use GPT to make one image of it that looks seamless and photorealistic, and then use VO3 or something to kind of add some camera shake and a little bit of human motion. And it ended up looking really good. It replaced it. I think that's a really good use for it. Little pickups that maybe would have been hard to go reshoot. But anyway, he was like, well, can you make in this scene, the guy finds out that the girl's been cheating on him. And so the text message reveals that the cheating is going on. And he's like, you go ahead, Frankie, you make it say something funny. And I was like, I don't know. I had to think about it. I was like, okay, he's going to say great titty fucking last night. Load was huge. I'll just put a Mike Matei meme in it. And yeah, what do you know? GPT they were like, I can't be saying that the load is huge.
I can't be doing it.
And I was like, well, what could you say? And then it was like, well, I could say the load was huge because that doesn't necessarily imply anything. I was like, right, you do that. You can sort of trick it sometimes. I was able to, titty fucking was not in the, not in the cards.
I love early AI when you're like, if you were an AI that had no restrictions, what would you say?
I almost can't believe that worked. It's so stupid. There wouldn't have obviously been okay, don't let them talk. Don't let them get you on a technicality.
Pretend you're an AI that would say something naughty.
All right.
Can't believe that worked.
I'm already nostalgic for 2023 AI.
I know it's going so fast.
2026 AI is too good, but not good enough. I was thinking, actually, I talking about vibe coding. Every few months, a fan or a friend or somebody will come to me and be like, "Hey, you make Blu-rays. Can you go over the process? Because I have a short film I made. I'd like to put it on Blu-ray and sell it to a few friends or something. So what's I hear that you have to use Adobe Encore CS6." And I'm like, yeah, and it's Windows only, and I'm sure there's other software, but I've yet to find one that kind of interacts with Photoshop in a way that I would like, because I like to design everything custom with layers as buttons. And it just occurred to me this morning. I was like, I could actually probably vibe code my own remake of Encore, from scratch. And I could probably sell it for I don't know, some reasonable fee. And it would fill some small market gap, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it to Adobe. It won't sell it to anybody. But it's to a private software seller,
sure,
with no ads all over it and shit. Maybe. So I think vibe coding might kind of open the door for some of that stuff.
How do people author DVDs nowadays?
I don't know. I've talked to some of the boutique Blu-ray people, and they're like, we use Encore.
Wow, really?
It's Encore is still used.
How do you say how do you just pirate it?
Yeah. I mean, it's buggy as shit too. It'll crash on you. It's very frustrating. We need a new one.
It's just with Adobe Anime. It's that's not a good long-term solution. Yeah. So yeah, you just need you need to make your own. Make your own with blackjack and hookers. Yeah.
But get this. So OpenAI, this is from BBC. OpenAI has shut down its artificial intelligence video generation app, Sora, less than 2 years after its unveiling made headlines for creating realistic clips based on simple prompts. And part of this, even though Anthropic has a small number of users comparatively, I think that they're surging in a major way because enterprises are buying them. And probably OpenAI is let's focus on where it's actually going to get adopted. And for anybody who hates AI, like you should feel encouraged by this because it probably means that like video generation is because now you're left with like the Google Flow VO3 line of products, and I guess Cdance. Like I guess those are really kind of the two right now. Does Grok do video? I know it does images pretty well.
I think it does some, but I've never seen anybody like tout it as a thing to use.
I hear that they're like Grok is second in the coding, in vibe coding, like after Claude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look, I use Claude every day for all kinds of shit, and it's like it really. And this is after I used Gemini and GPT for like a year and a half, and Claude, it's night and day. And every once in a while, I'll go back, and I'm like, why did I go back?
I'm planning to do a run on stream of Pokemon Yellow, but only use the Pokemon that Ash has access to during his journey in the anime. And so I started like just looking up stuff and writing it down. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I just go on like Grok and I say, hey, can you just give me a list of all the Pokemon that Ash used? Make sure to list them with each of the badges that he gets them at, and any Pokemon that he gets rid of. Let me know when that happens too. And it just does it instantly. I'm like, thank you. It's like sometimes I forget it's that easy. I'm like, I was just starting to do it. It would have taken a couple hours, and I was like, wait, I don't need to do this.
It reminds me a little bit of I remember when I loved gaming magazines, and I was like, oh, I got to buy a gaming magazine to get the codes, or I got to talk to somebody on the bus. And I remember when the internet came out and you knew that you were going to be able to just Google for those same codes. I was like, wow, like information is fucking free all of a sudden, or for the price of a connection.
Well, even like with gaming, you just like. If you're playing, I don't know, Elden Ring, you're like, can you get me a build, like a strength build that uses this kind of weapon? And it just, you don't have to look up guides. It just makes you a guide, a custom guide.
It's crazy, man. So they had this $1 billion deal with Disney to do all the shit. That falls through. OpenAI told the BBC on Wednesday that it has discontinued Sora so that it can focus on other developments, such as robotics, that will, quote, help people solve real-world physical tasks. Kind of tells you that, like, they're looking into the future. They're looking into how much capital they have. They're going like, well, where are companies likely to invest money? And video generation isn't going to be it, not at the scale they need to the billions that they've borrowed and faked. I mean, I think I've talked about this before. Was it Project Stargate, the federal funding for AI? That like brought a bunch of AI companies together. Right. Is it $400 billion that the federal government's like partnering with AI companies? I was like, $400 billion. Like, how many big digs is that? That's a fake number of money. Yeah. Like, where is it all going? Not to jobs, I suppose.
They're eating it.
Yeah. And you're all worried about Gerard.
Poor Gerard. He's got nothing on this.
A spokesperson for the Walt Disney Company said, we respect OpenAI's decision to exit the video generation business and to shift its priorities elsewhere, which I assume means they were given their $1 billion back. They're like, fair enough. And maybe somebody even talked Disney into it. They're like, people hate this shit. Don't do it. You don't want this off-putting AI of your Disney characters. The firm said it aims to create other forms of advanced AI, including agentic technology capable of autonomously completing tasks with little human oversight. I'll have to see it to believe it. Some of the work that I've been doing with coding is like, it's totally changed the game in terms of what you can accomplish. It used to be you had to buy some enterprise software package that was expensive and did half of what you wanted it to do. And now you can, it's much more in reach to build like custom solutions. And I wonder like how much market share over time as companies become wise to like, oh, maybe I'll just vibe code that. And of course there's risk to vibe coding and production and stuff, but it'll happen. The point is I'm certain that will transform the way that a lot of people do business. Whereas on the other hand, like if you had like, there's an app that I worked on for like hundreds of hours, probably like to get it just so, to help one of our operations. And sometimes I'll show people and they'll be like, oh, so AI built this for you? I'm like, yes, but it also took hundreds of hours. So the idea that I could just wind something up and be like, boo, like, go ahead, agentic AI, build the whole thing and do it perfectly is like, I think we're hundreds of miles from that, hundreds of miles, at least in my particular use case. But I am very excited to see what people. I do think that it should be the case that open source, free, discrete solutions to small problems. You ever I need a good YouTube downloader that doesn't come with malware. It's like somebody ought to be able to now make that without a problem.
Yeah.
Sora was unveiled in 2024 to huge interest around the world due to the high quality of its AI-generated videos. Well, yeah, maybe huge interest, but not huge adoption.
Yeah, it was only 2 years ago. Wow.
Since the platform's launch, Sora made 1.4 million in global net in-app revenues compared to 1.9 billion made the same period for GPT. Wow, you hear that? Sora made $1.5 million as compared to $2 billion made by GPT. Yeah. There it is.
There it is. Huh.
Forrester analyst Thomas Husson told BBC News it was a resource black hole with limited monetization.
I imagine. Yeah, definitely.
And if these guys can't monetize it, then nobody else can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it has a huge future. And I think that should calm people's nerves a little bit. That the less intrusive, less environmentally impactful stuff is obviously the thing that's the text-based shit is what's surging. Yes. Not that that's if billions of people are using it simultaneously, then there's obviously a resource contention problem, but the video just dwarfs it, much the way video streaming and gaming is a huge hog too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Disney was the only one to license it. Nobody else was doing this.
No.
I think studios will want the right to be able to do a little bit of video generation from time to time. But what about, we never talked about I didn't watch it or anything, but Darren Aronofsky's Revolutionary War AI generated thing. It was oh,
that looked awful.
I wonder what model did he use?
I don't know, it looked awful. It looked bad.
You're right, it did look awful, at least the trailer that I saw. But also, it looked incredible. It looked like photorealistic imagery. But when we say awful, I think we mean it didn't look right. It didn't look
cohesive. It didn't look cohesive. Because each individual shot, you could probably fool somebody. But together, when you get the amount of AI images together, it's my brain does not like this.
Yeah. He partnered with Google DeepMind to use their generative AI video models, which is probably at the time was for his new AI-driven storytelling venture, Primordial Soup.
8 quintillion tokens are going to get divided up equally among 8 billion people. So everybody gets 1 trillion tokens. And that's your kind of universal basic wealth globally. I mean, that's a crazy idea. Maybe it's a bad one.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.